Wow, wow, wow. I think I'm starting to notice a pattern here. Tesla really likes Thursdays. And this kind of makes sense, right? They like to make changes on a quiet Thursday evening night because it's right before the weekend. And I believe it's also Easter weekend as well, right? Well, it is out now. Tesla has made massive price changes across the board on all models. And it's really funny because we were literally just talking about a price decrease for the Model Y earlier today. And it looks like Tesla has just fall through and shown us exactly the power that they have if they want to hit the demand button right away. So we're going to jump into all the different price changes and price decreases across the board. We'll talk about maybe why, and it's pretty crazy. And on top of that, they just made some EV tax credit announcements as well. So pretty exciting stuff. We're going to jump into all of that. But before we do that, let's roll that intro real quick. All right, so thanks for watching another stream. Thanks for watching another video. My name is Dennis, and I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on Tesla at the best financing rate. So definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link, where you can get access to the best buying or Tesla buying guide out there that has lists of all the credit unions and banks that are all better than Tesla financing. So definitely check it out. Link down below in the description. And shout out to my latest Patreon members. We've got Robbie, who just joined. Thank you. As well as Anthony, who joined earlier. So let us unpack and get into all of this. It looks like Tesla Twitter is on fire right now because massive price cuts across the board. We'll start with the Model Y because I know a lot of you out there have an order in the queue, and congratulations to all of you. You are now getting a older, lower price if you just reserved one recently. But this is just the price. Like, that was not too long ago. This was the price of all the Model Y trims. We got the Model Y all-wheel drive at $49,990. We got the Model Y long range at $52,990, which was the price it was like in January. And then the Model Y performance back down to $56,990. The interesting thing here is now we've got a introduction of the Model Y standard range, the one that is 279 miles. It is now available for you to order, now available for you to customize, and now it is a great price of under $50,000, basically a little bit above the average price of what the vehicle average new car being sold in the United States is. And on top of that, it is at the lowest price it has ever been for a Model Y all-wheel drive standard range. When it first came out in January, on that price drops, it was $50,990, and today it is just $1,000 less at $49,990. And it does qualify for the $7,500 federal tax credit. So we've got an interesting spread here, right? You could go with a base one Model Y standard range at $49,990. You could pay $2,000, $3,000 more for a Model Y long range with a little bit more range, or actually a lot of bit more range. Or on top of that, you can bump it up again to another $4,000 for a Model Y performance. Crazy stuff, because it's April 6th right now. It's a Thursday before the weekend, before sales and all that stuff. And it's also a good amount of time before April 18th, right? Where a lot of these other vehicles might lose some of the tax credit. But I guess Tesla doesn't care. They don't need that. They just want sales, and they've realized they need to make moves ASAP a lot quicker in the quarters than before. I mean, we talked about earlier today how inventory for the Model Y is starting to creep up just a little bit, right? You can see this nice slight increase of inventory across the board for all Model Ys. Shout out to mattjung.net for putting together this great site that tracks all the inventory. But crazy stuff right now. Like, this is a price drop. I did not expect it this quickly. I thought it was going to be a little bit later in the quarter, or maybe even by the end of this month. But Tesla, they're seeing something on their end, whether it's interest rates going up or people starting to back out for whatever reason. They realize that they they need to do a price decrease or price drop to incentivize some sales. And now there is a cheap, very inexpensive Tesla Model Y relative to other ones out there at a price of $49,990. And so this is a nice infographic that shows all the Model Ys across the board. Shout out to Occupy Mars, Winston. You can see here are the different price ranges across the board. Here are the different EPA mile ranges. And of course, you've got the seating configurations and 0 to 60 speeds and all that stuff. Well, at the end of the day, every Tesla is fast enough, so I wouldn't necessarily be worried about some of the other stuff, but crazy across the board that the Tesla Model Y is at that price point. A lot of people on Tesla Twitter are talking about how this is the structural battery pack 4680 Tesla Model Y from Austin, Texas. And it seems like there's a good amount of inventory that just got released, and so that's why Tesla has decided they finally want to open it up for people to customize and order their Tesla Model Y. So pretty crazy stuff right now. You can, if you want to lock down this new price, if you want to lock down a vehicle because you love these lower prices, definitely check it out, waitingfortesla.com, so you can secure an inventory. Shout out to TJ and the team, and you can lock one down right away. Jumping to the Model 3 side, a little bit of a different story, right? The Model Y's rear-wheel drive standard range is only $1,000 less, but now we have clarification on how much the tax credit will get or be reduced down to. For the Model 3 standard range, it will go from $7,500 down to $3,750 after April 18th. So we could easily see some more price fluctuations after April 18th, but for some reason, Tesla has decided to drop the price of the Model 3 standard range $1,000 right off of the bat right there. Of course, Model 3 Performance is still at the same price of, or they dropped it down $1,000 from $53,990 down to $52,990. And then Model 3 Long Range, we actually have no idea right now because you cannot order one. Of course, you can try and find one in the inventory and try and put your name on it. But knowing Model 3, there really hasn't been any long ranges in a bit for a while. Some of them pop up on the website from here and there, but we really haven't been able to see them. But if we can probably follow along with the Model 3, we can assume that it also went down $1,000 at the end of the day for this one as well. So definitely some pretty interesting stuff from crazy stuff. If we were to jump quickly to the Model S and the Model X, big vehicle, big higher price vehicles. It seems like both of these vehicles got a $5,000 haircut down from what the prices they were before. Let's see if we had a tweet. I thought I pulled one up here, but right here. So shout out to Sawyer Merritt again. Tesla has reduced the prices of these Model S and Model X up to 5%. For the Model S long range all-wheel drive went from $89,990 down to $85,000, so a $5,000 haircut. Well, really just across the board, $5,000 chop across the board over all of them. And so my recommendation, of course, is if you want a Tesla, go to waitingfortesla.com. Find an inventory vehicle that is out there, lock one down, secure your VIN so that you can try and take delivery ASAP, but crazy price drops really quickly, right in the early of the month for April. So definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Super chat. Thank you, Sir Zodiac. My EDD was April 6th to April 15th. Now I'm losing 2K with this. Any suggestions? What do you mean by that? Because your pricing should reflect to the new one. And if you haven't taken delivery yet, it will just reflect back to what it was before. So you should be good, but not exactly sure what you mean by that. But thanks for the super chat, Sir Zodiac. I just sent a message to my SA to get my price adjusted, and I'll change to a Model Y Performance. Exactly. You might as well bump up at this point, like especially if you ordered a Model Y at the older price, at the newer price at $54,990, then you might as well try and bump up and upgrade to the new Model Y Performance and then get a delivery ASAP. So I can easily see a rush of people trying to take delivery. That's what happened in January, of course. But of course, in January, there was a massive price discount earlier from what that was. And so that was exactly why a lot of people went to go take delivery or try and take delivery ASAP. But crazy stuff across the board. It seems we've got more clarity now on what is going on with these federal tax credit. And now it seems like Tesla will continue to get the $7,500 federal tax credit on all Model 3 and all Model Y trims, of course, except for the Model 3 standard range, rear-wheel drive. So definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts on it are. Let me know what you're thinking. If you're going to try and switch to different vehicles to try and bump up your order to lock this in, try some of the EDD hacks on the channel. And we're going to jump into any live stream comments any of you has. But before we do that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description, there's a Patreon link where you can support the channel. And there's a variety of benefits, but some of them include actually scheduling a call with me. We can ask me any questions about buying a Tesla, selling a Tesla, even financing a Tesla. And after you join the Patreon, you get a link to my buying guide, which has links to all the resources that I use to get the best possible deal at the best financing rate, including credit unions and banks on that list that all have interest rates lower than Tesla financing. Tesla's financing at 5.59%. All those banks have lower than that. So definitely check it out. Link down